Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Beamer, and today I'm going to talk to you about Google Forms. So I'm going to show you today how to set up a Google Form, and I'll show you some different examples of some questions you can create in your Google Form. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing you're going to do is you're going to log into your Google account, and you're going to go up to your waffle. I'm already in my Google account, and I'm clicking on my waffle. And I'm going to go to my Drive. Now you can also create a Google form right from here as well, but I just like starting in my Drive, just personal preference, so that way I know where I'm going to end up saving my Google form anyway when I'm organizing my Drive. So you can click on the Google form, or you can go straight to your Drive, and then from your Drive you're going to click New, the plus button, and go down to Google Forms. Now, if it's not there, you can click More, and then your Google Forms might be down here as well. So we're just going to go to Google Forms, and you can start from a template or you can start from a blank form. Today, we're going to start from a blank form. And here is our blank form. So the first thing you want to start is you're going to want to start by titling your Google form. So today we're going to do a student interest survey, which is one of the ways you can use a Google form. So we'll start with a student interest survey. And once you have your title typed in up here, you can just click up in the top corner here, and it'll automatically title it there as well. So this is like the title of your document that shows up in your Drive. And so we're just going to start with our first question here, and you do not have to number them because it numbers them automatically. We're going to start with, what is your name? And we'll put first, and actually, I like having what is your first name, because when I go to organize my data, if I want to organize student by last name, then it's easier for me to organize it in my Google spreadsheet, which is another video, another day. So I ended up separating it into two questions. What is your first name and what is your last name? Just so it's easier for me to organize later. Now, Google is highly intelligent in the sense that based on what I typed there, it automatically went to a short answer because it knows that it's most likely going to be a type of question where you will fill in what your name is. So your options for types of questions, your options for types of questions in Google Forms is a short answer, a paragraph, multiple choice, checkboxes, drop down. If students have to upload a file, a linear scale, multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, date and time. Short answer is really nice for like first name type thing. So let's just go on to the next one. So we do want this to be a required question, because if you don't make it a required question, then students can skip over this, and then now you don't know whose survey it is. So go ahead and click on the button, make it required. Couple of things on your question here. This is if you want to add a picture or an image to your question. This is to duplicate that question. So if you know you're going to have another short answer question or one that says, what is your last name? You might want to duplicate it. This is to delete your question completely. And then your three buttons here just has to do with you want to show a description, if you want to describe a little bit more about what type of question it is. In this case, we wouldn't really need it. All right, so we don't need that for this. Here is to add a question, import a question. So if you had like another Google form or another place you wanted to import a question into. This is to add a title and description if you want to separate into categories, add an image, add a video, and then add a section. So let's just keep going. We're going to do, what is your last name? So I duplicated that. And I'm going to click on, I'm just going to make this last name. Okay. So we have first and last name. And then we're just going to ask them some questions. So the first question I'm probably going to want to ask, let's add another question here. Let's say, I want to know what they feel they're an expert on. So when people want to know about something, they ask me, what are you an expert on? And I think I'm going to put expert in quotations. All right, so this one I do not want a short answer because short answers are like a sentence or so. I'm going to give it a paragraph. That way it gives them more space to type what they want to type in there. I'm not going to make this one required, but you can if you want to. All right, so let's go on to our next question. Let's add, what is your favorite subject? What is your favorite subject? We're going to make this one a multiple choice. And then we're going to give them options. Math, science, reading, social studies, writing, I think this is as far as we're going to get. We could have also add other so students could type in something they want. So here they have to select one of the options. Okay, so I added another question, and let's do one that has check boxes. Let's do, what types of technology do you have at home? And then we're doing check boxes. That means they could check multiple. So let's put a computer or a desktop, laptop, oops, spelled that wrong, Chromebook, tablet/iPad, and smartphone. And then we might do an other here as well. So we'll just click to add other. So right here, click to add other in case you have something else at home. And I might make this one required. You might also want to do option that says none. There we go. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do, what other types of questions we got? Drop down, linear scale, multiple choice. Ooh, let's do a checkbox grid. So let's add a question. Checkbox grid. So I'm thinking here doing something of rating how they feel on each particular subject. So like when it comes to this subject, or when it comes to like science, I want them to rate themselves on a 1 to 5 scale about how they feel they are with it. So are they really good at it, or do they feel they're an expert, or they feel they're not very good at it? So let's go ahead and do writing, reading, math, science, social studies, and then let's do one on technology, so I could get a sense too of their where they rank themselves on technology. So I'm going to say for each subject area, rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. Okay, so then for our columns, we're going to do 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So let's go ahead and show what this looks like. We're going to require a response in each row because I do want them to select. And then let's go ahead and preview this. So I want to show you what it looks like. Where's my preview button? Okay, so at any point, actually, let's just go up to preview. So at any point in time, if you want to see what your student or what your Google form looks like in response to like what your students would see, you're going to scroll to the top and click on the preview button. So as we click on preview, this is what it looks like to the students. So first name, last name, what are you an expert on, favorite subject, types of technology. So they can select multiple types here. They can select only one here or type in other. And then this is the one right here. So for each area, rank yourself. Oh, I do not want that. Never mind. So hang on. So I messed up here, but this is a good example I can show you anyway. So this would be if you want to be able to multi-check all of them. But I'm realizing I just want them to check one for each row. So I don't want this. I want multiple choice. So I'm going to go back and adjust it. So here's edit this form. So I'm going to go down to the corner here, and there's a little pencil. So this is how I can go back to edit. It's going to ask me about changes. That's fine. And then I'm going to go down here. And the good news is all I can do here is click on the question, click on the checkbox grid, and make it a multiple choice grid. There we go. And then let's go back up and preview it. Now I can select only one for each column. Ah, there we go. Good. All right, let's go back to edit form. And I want to add just a few more things here. So let's say I want to rearrange some things here. So I see what's my favorite subject, and then I have how good, like how they feel they are at subjects. I want to put those together. So if you click on at the top of each question, when you hover over it, it's got these 6 little dots. If you click and hold, you can drag your question down. So now I can rearrange my questions as need to. Now do keep in mind that you should always start with your name, because while you move it on here, it may not move on your spreadsheet for your data. So always make sure you start with your names. That way you know whose is whose. All right, so let's say I've selected on this guy. You can see how he's highlighted blue. Oh, looks like I'm in here twice. I am in here twice. Let's close out of this one. Okay. Now I'm in here once. So I've selected this guy. Here's my favorite subject. So let's say I wanted to put like a title here that just lets them know we're going to talk about subject. So I selected this question, and I'm going to put title and description. I'm going to put it below it. I want it above it. And so I might just title this section, subject areas. So I can put subject areas, and I can put like a description if I need to. And then let's say I wanted to make this like a whole separate section, so that way kids have to move on to the next question. Like instead of, you see how before we were scrolling all the way down, let's say I don't want to scroll all the way down. Let's say I want to make an actual separate section. So we would do add a section. I want this guy down here. Then I might say subject area questions. And actually I wouldn't even need this guy anymore, so we'll just delete him. Okay. So now I have like subject area questions here more specifically. Okay. All right, let's do a few more. Okay, so we have subject area questions. Let's select this guy. Add another question. And let's do a question that is, let's do a drop down. Let's do your parents read books for themselves? And then here they're going to give us suggestions, only because of the type of question it is. So we're going to do a yes, no, and a maybe, because, maybe they don't know. All right, so there's a drop-down question, and we'll preview that here in a minute. Let's do what type of books, no, what genres of books do you like to read? All right, and then we're going to make that I would say checkboxes. All right, let's see here. How often do you read for fun and enjoyment? And let's make this one a linear scale. 1 to 5 is fine. 1 being, let's do 1 being, thinking like not at all. Not very often. Let's do not at all. Not at all. And very often. Oh, what was that? Often. All right. Let's do. There we go. Let's stop. Do I have any other ones? Date and time. You tend to do at the beginning if you want students or whomever's doing the form to fill the form. The date and time. I also create a Google form for my parent logs. So like when I'm contacting parents, I use my date and time for that. So we basically covered all the questions. There's a file upload one. So if they drew a picture, you could click on it. Here, we'll do upload one of your favorite assignments you created last year to share with me. I'll be honest with you, I usually don't do this one very often. Files. Okay, so that's just saying that they're going to have to log in to Google in order to do this. So you could select a different specific file type. So if you knew what kind they were submitting to you, you could do that. And then you could do the number of files. I only want 1 file for them to upload, and then how big that file can be. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and show you what this looks like. Oh, I didn't add an image anywhere, did I? Oh, I know a question I forgot. Let's do one other thing. Let's do what zone are you in today? So let's see here. This has to do with our zones that we do. So I'm going to actually add an image to this question. So here is my picture, and it is in my Google Drive. And there's my image. So now students can select what zone they're in. I'm actually going to make this a little bit bigger. And then I don't know if I want a short answer text. I might want a multiple choice. So we'll say green, yellow, blue, red. And then I may just end my survey with one last question. Is there anything you would like to share with me that I should know about you? And then there's a long answer text. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this. Import questions, title. Oh, let's actually put a separation here too. I want these two to be underneath. This title is How Are You Today? Okay. Okay, beautiful. Let's take a look at this guy now, or gal. Let's preview it. And so I have first name, last name, the expert question, types of technology. And then here's where we have, remember we put that section, so instead of having them continually scroll down, they just go next, and they actually have to complete, at least the ones that have the red star on them, as they are the required ones. So it's not going to let me go on edit. Nope. All right. This one I don't have to answer, but I do have to answer this one. There we go. Next. Okay, so favorite subject area, select that, and then here was the rating. And then, oh, here's the drop down, so they can choose yes, no, maybe. And then the types of books, they could select multiple. And then here's that scale rating. How often do you read for fun and enjoyment? And then we had the add a file, so they could go on their drive and add something that they created. Next. Oh, I made this a requirement, didn't I? Okay. There we go. Next. And then, how are you today? What zone are you in today? So this is where I would select. I didn't make that a required one. And then there. And then they could type that in and then submit. So let's go back to editing. If you notice, see how these are purple? Like this whole thing is purple. You can actually edit the color. So let's go up here to the little lovely customize theme. And you have several options here. So you can choose just a theme color if you want to change your color. You can add your own color if you'd like, if you know your hex code. You can change the background color. So ones that coordinate. So like I picked this green. Let's say I don't like that light green. I want to go to the darker one. You can choose your font style. There are just a few fonts here. That's hard to read. So different font styles. I usually do playful or basic. And then you can choose a header image if you want to. So we did one like a student interest inventory. So let's do, I don't know. That one's kind of cool. All right, let's insert that guy. And so he is up here at the top. Oh, the kids aren't really going to like that. You could upload your own. So if you were able to create if you knew how to create your own, you could create your own. You can upload a photo. I'm just going to pick a different one. I had a really nice, why is this not, oh, there's the scroll. I'm like, why is this not scrolling down? They do have some ones that move. You can find those ones. Those ones are pretty cool. The kids always find that amazing. Okay, done. So now they have colors that they suggest go really well with it, that coordinate. Okay, okay. All right, so then let's go ahead and close out of this and let's preview it one more time. There, you have your Google form. You've created it. Now, one other thing you can do, you can go into the settings, a little gear shift up here. Or not. There we go. And you can choose to collect email addresses. So if you didn't want their name on it or something, or you're afraid they would forget to put their name, you can collect email addresses, and therefore you'll know your emails will go in there, people who fill it out. If you want something where they get something back that says they've submitted, you can select response receipt. Response receipts if you want to. Here you can restrict it. I'm under my grad school account, so it says Bowling Green State University, but if you were on your school account, it'd be whatever your school was. And this is just so that way only people in the district can use it. You can limit them to one response. You can allow them to edit it after they turn it in. You can allow them to see a summary of like what people selected, and then that's that file upload again. And then you have an option for them to see a progress bar if they want, to shuffle the question order, which I usually don't do because it has a name in it. To show link to submit another response. If you had, I didn't limit it to one response, so it would be a link to show another one. I could type in a message like, thank you for filling out the student interest survey. Okay, and then if this was a quiz, you can make it a quiz and assign point values. So let's go ahead and click save. And let's just end with filling this guy out. So we're going to preview him, and let's hopefully fill it out. I guess I can do that again. All right. I'm not going to upload a file. And submit. And then we see right here, thank you for filling out student interest survey. I hope this video was informational for you. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. And I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.